Before we go for our concept, let's take one scenario. The scenario is such that, so there is a family, some members, and this is from their place or they from their own house for some place, whatever it is. So they plan to go to visit some place. So this is their destination. So they want to visit some place. So their idea is they want to go by a car. They want to go by a car. Yeah. So there are some of 2 to 3 members are there. So here what they will do, the the car is also the owner of this family or head of this family. So there is no other driver and all. So what they will do is, so generally what you will do if you are in this place. So since it is something like assume 1,000 kilometers journey, assume that. So in this scenario, what generally every person will do? What is that? Since it is a long journey, the one who is driving this car or owner of the family, so he will make sure that the car is with proper condition. Yes or no? The car will be serviced because they are traveling a big distance. They have to go 1,000 kilometers and they have to come back by 1,000 kilometers, which means 2,000 kilometers journey on an average or approximately. So therefore, they will make sure that the car is initially only we can check that the car is serviced properly. A car is serviced. Yeah. And also, so since so we want to start tomorrow some early morning, something like that, let us assume. Therefore, we make that the fuel is full. Yes or no? Can we check or not all this? Yes, we can check. At the same time, we can check that the vehicle tires are good in condition. And because it's a long journey, so there is one extra tire also for anything happens in between. So these are the things in our control. Before we start the journey, these things are in our personal control. Will you agree or not? Yes or no? Anybody disagree? We can check all these things. So as a owner or as a person, we can check all these things in advance. So assume this is the road. Now, they started. They started their journey. So after some distance, the fuel is empty. What we can do? Or we'll get some warning. Okay, in next 5 kilometers, the fuel is going to become empty. What we can do? Yeah. So on this way, nearby, we'll find some the fuel bunk and we can fill it, and we can come back to the track and we can start moving. Our journey will be stopped. If fuel is empty, the journey will be continued, right? So after some distance, the tire got punctured. What we can do? So here, if the person is technical enough, so there is extra tire. If that also gone, then we will go to a nearby the repair shop or puncture shop and we can get it done, and then the journey will continue. Correct? The journey will be stopped because of tire is punctured? No. We can buy and fix a new tire also. So after some distance, so this time the accident happened. Accident happened. So now can we do something? The journey will continue or the journey will be stopped? The journey will end here only. Correct or not? So can we predict this? Fuel is empty. Can we predict? Tire will be punctured. Can we predict? Yes or no? But accident will happen. Do we predict? No. Right? We cannot predict. So because of this, the journey is stopped here only. It's the end. Did they reach the destination? No. This concept is called as a exceptions in Java. Yeah. So now I'll connect this to Java. You remember this scenario, exceptions is done. But how it is done? Always I keep on using the same example. So I define what is exception. Accident is happening at home or when we are traveling on the road. So it is of initial point or running time. The exception is also one runtime error. Okay. So exception is a runtime error. Yeah. Because of this accident, what happened? Their journey is smooth or they got disturbed. So exception is a runtime error which disturbs normal flow of program. Normal flow of program. What is normal flow in this example? They have to reach the destination is a normal flow. Yes. So with this fuel is empty or tire is punctured, those are normal things only. But because of no accident, we nobody predict. Normal flow is nothing but reaching the destination is a normal flow. Yeah. Then, so because of this accident, the journey is terminated or continued, stopped permanently. Yes or no? So here, exception is a runtime error. Exception will disturb the normal flow of the program and it will terminate. It will means exception will terminate the terminate program happily or abruptly. Abruptly. Abruptly means unexpectedly. That's exception. This is the exception definition. It is a runtime error. Exception is runtime error. It will disturb the normal flow of program and it terminate the program. Terminating means program will normally terminate. That is reaching the destination. Abrupt termination stopped somewhere in the middle. Yeah, without getting the output. Somewhere in the middle it got terminated. So this is the definition of a exception. Yeah, clear? You have to remember this definition. It's very easy. Nothing is there. Remembering this definition is very easy. Correct? Or easy for me, not for you. Yeah. So next point is what is the meaning of this exception in a program? For example, if we have a class and inside this there is a main method. Inside this main method, some int x equals some value say 100. Then system.out.println of x forward slash 2. Then end of this main, end of this class. If JVM execute this program, what is output? Do we get output or do we get any exception? We get output. What's output? 50 is output. Yes or no? 100 by 2, quotient is the answer. 50 is the answer. The same thing, if we write system.out.println, of course, this previous scenario is a terminate program will be terminated or will not be terminated. That's a normal termination. That's normal termination. That means JVM will reach to the closed curly brace of main method. So, but the same next line, if we write some x by 0, do we get any syntax error? Yes or no? If you write something by 0, do we get any compilation error or compile time error? No, we will not get any compile time error. But now the same program, if we execute, what will happen? Do we get output? Yes or no? No. So here, so first line of execution, absolutely fine. X will be loaded into the memory. Second line of execution, absolutely fine. 50 is the output. The next line of code, is it possible to divide something by 0? In mathematics, it's not possible. We call it as infinity. So here also, we call it as, there is one exception called as arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. So no space A and E capitals. What's the reason? Because division by 0. Because of division by 0. Then in this same example, if I write some normal line of code, system.out.println, say print hello. Do we get this output? So here is a line division by 0, then followed by there is a line called hello. Do we get this output? Hello output or not? Come on. It's a normal termination or abnormal termination? This line of code will cause one exception. Exception means it's a normal or abnormal event. Abnormal event means JVM will terminate the program here itself. So this line of code will not be executed. So when it is not executed, then we won't get the output also. Then will JVM reach to this point? No, here only program is over. That's what we call it as a exception. Exception is a runtime error, means while execution is happening, then only we may get it. So depends on some code. So exception is runtime error. So because of this exception, the program termination will be abrupt or abnormal termination. If this line is not there, then it's a normal termination, smooth termination. If some lines of code like division by 0 is there, then it is a abnormal termination. Understood? Yeah. So similarly, so we know some more exceptions. So public class, some class test. Inside this test class, public static void main method, and here inside this main method, so there is one int square brackets some x equals 10, 20, 30. Correct or not? Yes. System.out.println, say print x of 8. What's output? System.out.println, welcome. End of main, end of test class. What's output of this program? Yeah. So here, do we have any index value present at 8th index position? No. Therefore, what we'll get? We'll get array index out of bounds exception is what we are going to get. Then after that, do we get this welcome output? Yes or no? No. This line of code itself will terminate the program abruptly. Yeah. So the next line of code will not get. It means there is exception. Exceptions will terminate the program abruptly, means next lines of code will not be executed. Yeah. This is just what is the meaning of exception. Am I clear? Or anyone has any questions? So we know one more exception also. Can anybody? We know one more exception, if you remember. String index out of bounds exceptions. String index out of bounds exception also one more exception, which we already discussed in basic coding classes. So in our project, in this SRC, I'll create a new package that is com.visiblecampus.exception is my package name. It's not a keyword. Inside this package, I'll take a new class. I'll name this as some test only for execution. So here inside this class, I could have selected it, but I'll type public static void main function, and then followed by inside this, normally if we take a variable with some value of integer type, then if you perform some transactions of this by dividing with some number, possibly, yeah, then after this, if we have some line of code, say something hello. Now with this line of code, if you just execute this program, we get the output as 100 by 2 and also hello. This is a normal termination. This is called as normal termination. But the same line of program, if we add something in the middle called, say the same x variable, but I'm dividing with 0 this time. So again, let me save it. Let me run it. So you can see. So 50 output we got because line number 8 will be executed. Then after that, then exception in thread main. What is this thread main? Don't worry about it. We'll discuss in threads concept. So what is the name of the exception? Arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. And we should remember the case sensitive also. A capital, E capital, no space. That's what the arithmetic exception. Then what is the reason for that? Division by 0 is the reason. Yeah. At where? At Java Oops project. Then which package? com.vc.exception package. Test class. Main method. Line number 9. So this is a complete information we'll get in a console whenever there is an exception occurs. Yeah. So if you just simply click on this test Java underscore 9, now the cursor will move there. Okay, there is something, please correct. Yeah. So this is about the exception. So because of that, are we getting this hello output? No, that's a proof that it's terminated. Line number 9 only, the program got terminated. So there is no execution of further lines. Clear? Similarly, we already know that if we take any array based example also. So, okay, only hello I'll keep. So here also, sorry. Okay. Why it is taking there? Yeah. So here one int array name is some x equals some integer values, say 10, 20, 30, something like this. Then followed by, we can print the array elements by using array name with index position x of 2. At the same time, I want to print something like x of some number 8. So are we getting any compile time error? No. So we are not getting any compile time error. But when we run the program, what will happen? So do we have any 8th index position of x array? No. So because of that, so first x of 2 possible. So we got the output. Then exception in thread main java.lang.array index out of bounds exception. Yeah. So what is the reason? Index 8 out of bounds for length 3. Length is 3, but you are going with 8. Where? So and so project, package, class, method, everything. Yeah. So this is one more. Similarly for string also, we can go for the same. So there in place of array, we'll get string index out of bounds exception. So because of that, are we getting hello output? No. Exception will terminate the program abruptly. So it's not a smooth termination. Understood? Clear, yes? Yeah. Then in such scenarios, how do we handle the exception? So how to handle the exceptions? Uh, exception handling. Exception handling. Since when any exception occurs, okay, I don't want that line to be executed, or the remaining lines I want to be executed. In the previous scenarios, I want to see that hello output. Whatever happens, happens in the previous lines, but mandatorily I want that line to be executed. Then in that scenario, so we can go for exception handling concept. So programmer has to write some lines of code in a specific blocks. Then only the remaining part of the program will be executed. So for that, we can handle exceptions by two approaches. One is exception handling can be done by try catch block. Try catch block or by throws clause. Throws clause, it's not a class. Or simply throws keyword. Throws keyword. Yeah. So we'll see that throws keyword at the last almost. So we'll understand what is this try catch block first. How to handle exceptions by try catch block. Yeah. So the syntax for this try catch. The syntax for this try catch block. Syntax of a try catch is first there is a try. Try. then the body with floor brackets, then catch the parenthesis, exception name, exception name. So far we have seen some exceptions. What is the name? Division by 0, arithmetic exception, A capital, E capital. We have to write as it is, otherwise this also will not work. You will get one more exception. Yeah, array index out of bounds exception. A capital, I capital, O capital, B capital, plural, then E capital, no space. If you are missing anything, you'll get one more exception. Instead of handling existing exception, you will generate new exceptions. Yeah. So even in arrays concept also I told we should remember this exactly as it is. Okay. So exception name space exception variable or some variable closing of parenthesis, then the body with floor brackets, and here we can write some handling code. In catch block, programmer will write the handling code. If any exception occurs, what should I do? Yeah. In try block, always you have to write the risky code. Risky code. Then here try and catch are predefined keywords. Try and catch are predefined keywords. So we must write them in lowercase letters only. Try complete lowercase, catch also complete lowercase. So then what is this risky code? So in previous example, which is risky code? Divide, whenever we are performing some divisions, that's a risky code. Yes or no? And whenever we are performing this array operations, then accessing the array elements with index positions may be the risky code. Only declaration of this x variable with some value assignment. Is it risky code? No. Printing hello, is it risky code? No, that's not a risky code. So wherever it is a risky code, then only we have to write that inside the try block. That's professional way. Some people who don't understand exceptions will write everything in try block. Meaningless. Okay. So we will see the simplest example, the same thing by using a try catch block. So first public class, some test class for execution of JVM directly, main method. And inside this one, declaring or initializing x value as 100. Is it a risky code? No. Division of x value, x variable by some value. Is it a risky code? Probably yes. Yeah. So at this simple example, you don't say that's not risky code. So for me, that's a risky code at this point of time. So what we have to write? Since that is a risky code, try is a block. Try block will not have anything as a parenthesis to write. It's only just a word try or keyword try. Then here system.out.println print x by 2. Then alone try block can we write? No, try must be having a catch. Thus catch completely in lowercase letters. Correct? So if we are predicting some exception from try block, what could be that? Division by 0 is a problem. So if that is the exception, then what is the catch block we have to write? With some exception name. What's the exception name? Arithmetic exception A capital. Arithmetic E capital, no space between arithmetic and exception. Space, some variable of program or choice X. Or generally we use E for variable of exception. That's all. Just anything, X, Y, Z, ABC, all those are correct. Then inside this one, in real time, we'll be writing some handling code. So currently, I'm writing a sample print statement of system.out.println, the handling code. Or I'll write say exception handled. That's it. So don't think much about it. What is this exception handling and all? So we'll be using some e.print stack trace later. Exception handled. Yeah. Then followed by a normal line of code called system.out.println. So print hello. Yeah. Then end of this, end of main method, end of class also. Now when JVM execute this program, what's output? I'll use one red scenario. So in this scenario, what's output? 50 followed by exception handled followed by hello, right? So we'll get only 50 hello. We'll not get exception handled. Yeah, we'll discuss the flow. We'll discuss the flow later. So this is one scenario. What if there is a division by 0 in place of 2, if there is a 0, order it. So in place of this line of code, if it is a system.out.println x by 0, remaining code is as it is. Now what will happen? Yeah, what's output? Yeah, what's output? Exception handled is one output. Exception handled, and next, and also hello. So whenever we are getting this hello output, it's a smooth termination or abnormal termination? Smooth termination. Then why to handle exceptions? Exception handling, but why should I handle? For a program to terminate in a smooth manner. For a smooth termination, we have to handle the exceptions. So how to handle is this, but why to handle? That's the next question. So for that, so here, why to handle exceptions? So there may exception may occur or not. Exception may come or not, but my program wants to end smoothly. I want my program to end smoothly. So therefore, we have to handle the exceptions. Why to handle exceptions? The answer for this is, if this is the question, then the answer is for smooth termination of program. Yeah, so this is the scenario. So here in the first scenario of by 2, then we'll get 50 and also hello is output. In second scenario, but that is by 0, then we are going to get the exception handling handled, and then by hello is output. So in both the scenarios, JVM is reaching up to the last line of code and end of the main method as well. That's what we call it as a smooth termination. So for that, we have to handle the exceptions. So we'll see the same thing through Eclipse also. So I'll come back here. So I'll add the same example, So to start with, first one integer variable, int some x equal to 0. Is this any risky code? No. Then I want to perform some operations on this x variable as divisions. Okay. So try, then the block. So in this try block, what we should write? Risky code. Okay. At this point of time, still we are just initial part of exceptions only. So then, so what is that risky code? So I want to perform the x value to be divided with some number. Yeah. Then alone try can exist? No, that's why we are getting the error. Try followed by catch block. Catch block. Catch will have a parenthesis. Then the body. We are getting error in the parenthesis. What is the syntax of this parenthesis? Exception name. What's the exception name? For division of 0, we'll get arithmetic exception. So that one we have to write here. Then space, some variable. So I'll use E. Now it's fine. Then inside this, so what we can write actually is E dot print stack trace is one predefined method. Don't worry about what is this one. We will discuss later if required. This is the catch block, and this line has to end with a colon. So just for us to see, for us to just understand, I'm adding one print statement so that catch block is executed is a proof. So here what I let exception handled, then followed by, to check that smooth termination or not, I'm adding a normal print statement of say welcome, hello, something. That's it. Now in this first scenario, do we get an exception for x by 2? No. What is our prediction? 50 followed by hello is output. Correct or not? First scenario, what's our output? 50 followed by hello. So let us cross check. I execute here. You got? sorry, x value is this 0. Yeah. Save it. Again, I execute. So it is 50 followed by hello. Now this time instead of x by 2, I'll make it as x by 0. So we know that this line of code will cause the exception. Exception means abnormal termination of the program. So normally it should not reach the hello line. Yeah. But now we are handling. So therefore, what is the output that we get? Exception handled, and some print stack trace is print is there. It will print something else. Then followed by hello also we should get. Okay. That's our conclusion. So let me execute now. You can see exception handled. This is what the print stack trace is doing. It is doing that. It is the information of the exception, why it is coming. Okay. So this is also one story. We'll discuss that in next class. Then finally, this hello also we are getting. Okay. So if I comment this line, then whatever we discussed, it's a normal termination. Control yes to save, then execute this program. You can see exception handled, then followed by hello. Yeah. Yeah. So this is about the exception and how to handle the exceptions. The next, when it comes to syntax of this try catch block, there are various possible syntaxes are there. The try catch syntax is, can we write only try block? Only try block. Possible or not possible? Not possible. Only catch block with exception name and then some object variable, then it's block. Possible? Only catch. No, it's not possible. Then can we write try, then followed by catch, then exception name, space, some variable name? Possible? Yes. This is, so first one not possible, second one not possible, third one is possible. Then followed by try block, one more try block, then one catch block for first try, and then one more catch block for next try. Possible? Yes or no? Yeah, I know that you don't know. Guess it. Possible? Okay. I did not say anything. Try block, then followed by catch block, first one, then followed by one more catch block. Possible? One try block, but two catch blocks. These two also not possible. So out of these five, only one is possible. Okay. What's next thing? Okay. So try followed by one more try followed by one catch block for both of them. Possible? Yeah, for each try, there should be a catch block. So therefore, the conclusion is first one, no. Second one, no. Third one, yes. Fourth one, no. Fifth one, yes. Sixth one, come on. Come on, yeah. No. Yeah. So here, one try can have a multiple catches. One try block can have multiple catch blocks. Yeah. And one try can have one catch, or one try can have 10 catches. No problem. But alone try no, alone catch no, and two try blocks can't be together. Okay. And two try blocks also can't be together with one catch. This is also not possible. So this is the try catch syntax. Try catch basic syntax. Clear? Next. One try and one catch. Exception name, variable name, and all. Correct? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Inside this try block, one more try, and then followed by one catch with exception name and then the body. This is nested try. Inside a try block, again try catch. nested try. Possible? Come on. Yes. Inside a catch, can we have a try block and then followed by a catch block again? Inside a catch block. Okay. If I write this way, there is a there may be a possibility of misunderstanding. Then what I'll do, I'll write first try, outer try, and then outer catch first. Then inside this catch block, again a try followed by catch. Catch with exception name and all those things. Is this both are correct or only one is correct? I mean, this entire thing is one. This entire syntax I'm asking yes or no, and also this entire syntax I'm asking yes or no. Yeah, second one is definitely. First one, definitely right. Huh? Okay, both are right. On. So in try also we can have, in catch also we can have. At the same time, we can have both in try and catch also. Okay, but as more. So inside this also, can we have one more time? One try and one catch. Yes. Yes or no? Yes. So if we reach this second level only, as a programmer, we don't understand how, even if we debug also, we will not understand how JVM is executing the program. So we should never reach to this stage. Yeah. In real time scenarios, as as a beginner, nobody will ask you to write the exception handling code. Always it will be written by the team leaders or project managers and all. Initially, as a new programmer, we will not get a chance to write the code of exception handling. Okay, so that is such a tricky level. So for us to know, this is syntactically nested try and catch are possible to any nested level, but the second level itself is a bit complicated. The third level, forget about it. And here is the allowed syntaxes. Yeah. So then to understand this execution flow, okay. So to understand the execution flow, I'll take a three scenarios. So what is that program we have written? Public class, some test class. Inside this main method for execution directly, public static void main, and inside this main, so we have written some lines of code. What's the code? There is a variable called x, which is not a risky line of code. Therefore, this is no try and no catch. Then there is a risky code. That's why we use a try block to write. Then followed by we use a catch block with its meaningful exception name called arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. Then followed by our variable name. Then some code inside this one. Say system.out.println handled. Then followed by one more line of code, a print of say hello. So here what I'll add something called as system.out.println, say print x. Here I'm printing x before try. Is it a risky code? No. Therefore, no need of writing in try block. Then in try block, I'll use the different scenarios. The first scenario, system.out.println print x by 2. Same thing. So the first scenario is when no exception, when no exception occurs. Is there an exception? X by 2 means no exception. When no exception occurs, what is the output? For that, what is the JVM's execution flow? Yeah. So first JVM comes to first line. 100 will be loaded into X variable. Then print X. What's output? 100 is output. Then JVM goes to try block. Yes. Inside this try block, what is there? Print of X by 2. X by 2 will give the output of 50. Is it giving any exception? No. Then will JVM goes to catch block? Yes or no? No. Then JVM comes to end of this try block. No exception occurred. Therefore, JVM will not go to catch block. Then JVM comes to this line of code. What's output? Hello. Then JVM goes to closed curly brace of the main method. Right? When a no exception occurs, It's a smooth termination or abnormal termination? It is a smooth termination. This scenario, when no exception occurs, it is a smooth termination is 1 point. I'll add something later. Smooth termination. Try block is executed. Try block is executed or not? Executed. Catch block. Catch block is not executed. Yeah, but it's a smooth termination scenario. The next second scenario, when exception occurs from try block, means there is some exception try block. So for that, what is the code? Instead of this 2, I'll make it as 0. Yeah. So now what is the output and what is the flow of JVM's execution? Yeah, first x value, then print x will give the 100. The next go to try or catch, try block. So try block, then x by 0. Because of this line of code, what will happen? This line will cause the exception. Because exception is occurring, from try block, what JVM will check for? JVM will check for a matched catch block. Matched catch block. What is the meaning of matched catch block? So your division by 0 will cause one exception. What is that? Arithmetic exception. Do we have a catch block with that arithmetic exception? Yes, we have. Therefore, then only JVM goes to corresponding catch block. Yeah. And execute this body. What is there? Handled is output. Then after this catch block execution, will JVM comes to execute this or program will terminate there? Executes. What's output? Hello is the output. Correct? So my second scenario, now let me write more clearly. When exception occurs from try block and matched catch block is the present. Matched catch block is present. If it is there, then what is the flow? First, JVM comes to try, executes the try code. Because of that, some exception is occurring. Then catch block, from catch block, then it's a smooth termination or abnormal termination? Smooth termination. That's the second scenario. Then I'll go for a third scenario. What is third scenario? When exception occurs from try, but no matched catch block. No matched catch block. It means what? Programmer is unable to predict what is output or what is the exception. But in place of this arithmetic exception, I'm writing array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception is a name. So syntactical any problem? Syntactical no problem. Execution wise only there is a problem. So what is that? First, what is the flow? So third different color. So first x value, then print x value, we get out plus 100. Then followed by JVM goes to try. So exception is occurring or not occurring? Occurs. Therefore, let it be 0 only. Let it be 0 only in the next scenario also. The exception is occurring. Exception occurs. Then from try block, where JVM should go? Matched cache block. But do we have? No. Then what will happen? Abrupt termination. Even though we are using a try cache block, if there is no matched cache block for exception, then still the program will be abrupt termination only. So here it is abrupt termination. Therefore, no hello. Only 100 followed by that's it. Program is ended there. So this is the third scenario. So in this, try will be executed, but catch. So in this catch block will not be executed. So when exception is occurring, catch block is, sorry, when exception is occurring, if catch block is executed, then only smooth termination. If there is no match the catch block, then it is a still abnormal termination only. So this is a abnormal termination scenario. Now we understood why one try block is with multiple catch blocks is allowed. Yes or no? So here we have to write something array index. Here we have to write something called as arithmetic exception. Then next a string out of bound. So in that also there is one more rule. In that also there is one more rule, but too many things not required today. So this is the scenario, and you have to remember this. This may be the interview questions. What if a exception doesn't occur? Will catch block will be executed? No. So here, what if exception doesn't occur? No exception. Then catch block will be executed? No. Smooth termination or abnormal termination? Smooth terminate. Okay. So next, when exception occurs, and then matched catch block is present, then what is the termination? Smooth termination. When exception occurs, no matched catch block, then abnormal termination. Therefore, so these are the various. They'll write some code. They'll write some code. Then based on that, they'll ask to choose the output, or they'll ask some questions on it. So the various ways to ask the questions. Yeah. What if the try block has two or more lines of risky code? So your question is risky. So yeah. So if I add the something, okay, just for fun, if I add something, system.out.println. Okay. If I add something, so I want to print high. I'll come to your question. I'll come back to your question, Rashan. But let me go in a simple order. So otherwise it will be too confused also at the same time. So now assume these two lines of code in try block. Try block. Now tell me the changes in the output. Scenarios are same. Scenarios are same. Tell me the change in output. First, do we get 100? No exception scenario. 100? Yes. Followed by 50? X by 2. 50. Then followed by high. Yes or no? Yes. Then followed by hello. Yes or no? Yes. Then second scenario, when exception occurs from try block, exception occurs from try block and matched catch block is there. Is there. Now tell me what's the flow. First 100, then followed by in try block. What's the first one? X by 0. So because of that, what will happen? Exception occurs. Then where JVM will go? Catch block or next line of try block? Catch block. Then from catch block, what's output? Handled. Then what about high? I didn't understand. So printing high is not a risky code, but still I am writing in try block. Still I am writing in try block. No, I'm writing just for example. Rashant is asking one more question. Instead of writing something as one more x by 0, I'm writing this high first of all. I'm keeping it simple. What's the flow? Yeah. So here, smooth termination or not? Yes, smooth termination. But do we get high output? No, we will not get in second scenario. We will not get. Then in third scenario, so first 100, then followed by again exception is there. That's it. There ends. Yeah. So I think I have answered your question half. Yeah. What if try block has two or more lines of risky code? Then that's where we have to use the multiple catch blocks with one try block. One try block with multiple catch blocks is what we have to use there. Clear now? Yeah. So with this, I'll stop for the day.